Hey, friend. Welcome to the Human Design Diaries, a Soul Aligned Sisters podcast. Here we will delve into the fascinating world of human design. In this series, we'll cover the basics, dive deep into the gates and channels, and share plenty of laughs and magic. Join us as we explore how human design can guide you to live a more soul aligned life. Get ready for insightful conversations full of practical tips and insights to help you on your journey. Let's explore.
Okay, so you want to talk about orchestrators now?
Yeah, let's move on to that.
All right, so orchestrators or projectors. Orchestrators is the quantum human design name, projector is the traditional human design name. They are our guides, our leaders, if you will. They really come in with the energy of teaching us, showing us the way. They're sort of like the director of the movie set or whatever. They have this ability to kind of see um where we're headed and to help us understand how do we get there, right? How do we engage our energy in a way that works best to get where it is we're trying to go. So orchestrators have a purpose to guide and lead humanity. What we say in human design, and this gets a little woo, is that they hold the energetic template of what is possible for Earth. So on a practical level, that can sometimes mean that they have very high standards about what they will accept, about what we should be doing, about how things should run, how things should go, about, like a standard of excellence, if you will. And they can help us figure out how do we get there. Our jobs, I think, and as a manifesting generator, I'll be like, we're not doing all that. Like, I'm good with B work. Okay. Like, we do not need to be A plus here. if A plus is going to slow us down, let's go for the B. B is cool, man. It's cool. So there could be a little there can be a little tension there, but
Oh, yeah.
orchestrators are wonderful in the sense that they can help us. Every orchestrator I've worked with has this sense of I can see the bigger picture, I can see where we're headed, and I can see the small details where we might be missing steps or where we might need to shift something. And it's not true for everyone, but the people that I encounter, I think, really resonate with that idea that they can kind of see the vision in a
Yeah.
big way, and then can also point out where are the steps that we're missing, or what direction do we need to head. So I really
Yeah.
see them as sort of like the train conductor, and generator types are sort of like the engine, or the steam, or I don't know how trains work. I'm making this up. But they're the wheels, that are moving, and the manifester is the spark of getting the engine going, right? And then the generator types move the engine. The orchestrator is the conductor, where are we going? And then our calibrators or reflectors are how's the vibe on this train? Is the vibe cool? So yeah, they are, but like the manifestor initiator, orchestrators do not have consistent access to their own workforce and life force energy. So that means that when we have them in task-based roles and we have them doing the work that generators do, I'm filling out the spreadsheet, I'm answering emails, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing all the things, I'm moving this ball forward, they will burn themselves out that way. And what I find with orchestrators is burnout tends to be physical in a way. It manifests in physical ailments. And I think there's a process that gets there, but the orchestrators I've worked at who have dealt with burnout, it has been a very physical experience for them, because they just don't, first of all, they're bringing in all the energy from everyone around them. They don't have good access to their own consistent energy, and we expect them to work like everybody else, right?
Yeah.
Even in leadership roles, those people are doing the work of more than one person. So one of the things that I talk to orchestrators about is, in your work or in your life, wherever you can, put yourself in a position to delegate, delegate responsibilities to other people, right? Like play the guide, play the person who's like kind of watching over everything or helping like move things around, but don't play the worker bee. Don't play that role of where you're the one who's doing everything, because over time that is not sustainable for you. So even if you have to work like a 9 to 5, which isn't really right for you as an orchestrator, I would say still find ways to do less work at work.
Yeah. What's their strategy? What type of strategy do they need to follow to support themselves the best way?
So this is a little bit similar to generators in the sense that waiting is involved. But
Mhm.
in this case, they're not waiting for an external cue. Their strategy, orchestrator's strategy, is to wait to be invited.
Mhm.
So, orchestrators are not here for everyone. They are here for specific people. They are here to guide and lead specific people. And when they are with those people, they will feel seen, they will feel heard, they will feel on purpose. And the way that they know that they're with the right people is those people have invited them into relationship with them, have invited them into a new work arrangement, have invited them into a new living situation, have invited them, have said, hey, you, I want to be your friend, or hey, you, I have a job for you. And so this can be a little bit tricky for people because they think, first of all, it's like for the big things in life. It's not like you don't need to wait to be invited to go to brunch with your friends. Like
Right.
you just
Yeah.
invite them, like that's fine. But when it comes to the bigger things, this can feel really hard because
Yeah.
orchestrators have so much wisdom to share with us, and they tend to be very wise at a very early age. The way they see the world is different than how a lot of us can see it. They just can see it in a different way, and they want to share that.
Yeah.
But if they're not with the right people, then whatever they have to share is going to fall on deaf ears. Or in like a worst case scenario, they share some piece of wisdom or some idea that they have that will really serve the group, and then someone steals their idea and takes credit for it.
Yeah.
So waiting to be invited or recognized helps them to make sure that the people that they're with are going to really honor them for who they are. But it can feel like they're waiting forever. And
Mhm.
the issue I think for orchestrators is that if they are low on energy or if they are engaged in too many things, they will not receive the invitations that they're looking for. The universe
Mhm.
knows that. The universe knows you have too much already. You're not rested. And I see time and again for orchestrators, when they cut things out of their life, new opportunities show up for them because
Mhm.
they can't handle too much. So they're
Yeah.
not gonna like receive a bunch of opportunities if their energy is already at capacity. So yeah.
I just knowing we've got some, close family members who are projectors, and friends and people that we've collaborated with in business, um, seeing how they work. I mean, they really truly do hold the template.
Hmm.
And when they are in their power, they can come in and provide just absolute mind shifts.
Hmm.
They're incredible. I'm thinking about our friend Sarah, and I'm thinking about Dad.
Hmm.
I'm even thinking about my son and 15 and the way that he sees the world. It
Hmm.
like challenges me sometimes, like but in a good way.
Hmm.
Um, but how do you think? I would assume between them and reflectors, like they are completely impacted by the dominant culture. And
Hmm.
so, how do they shed like that conditioning that, we should all be working all the time? Um,
Hmm.
how do they combat that and like shift themselves into like an experience that they actually enjoy um, in life?
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard for orchestrators or projectors to shift themselves out of the standard way of operating in this world because I think, I mean, I would like to speak to somebody about this, and we should have somebody on our podcast, especially somebody who has really lived into their design to hear like how the shift happened for them.
Mhm.
But it's hard because I think they have so much wisdom to share. They know they want to share it. They're like, I got to tell you, like, you're doing this wrong, or like, we're like, we need to do this in a different way. And what they don't understand is that like pushes people away. And it's just the aura. It's just their energy. It repulses people. It's like, no,
Yeah.
don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me how to do this. I
Right.
don't care what you think, right? And so it can like I think they can develop this sense of like, well, in human design we would say it's bitterness, but that's their emotional theme. But not everybody resonates with that phrase bitterness or that emotion bitterness, so it can be like a saltiness or just feeling like, kind of,
Rejection. It's
yeah.
rejection too. Like,
So, but and then the process of like, one, if you don't know, like, forcing yourself, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep trying. It's my job to tell these people what to do. It's my job to help them achieve, and I want them to do well, and I want them to, you know, get to their highest potential. But not everybody wants to hear that. So,
Right.
it can be really hard for them to accept that actually I just need to hold back. I need to wait. I need to be quiet. I need to wait until I'm invited. And one little like shift that they can make to help them start to live into this a little bit more is to get into the habit of saying, I have something that I think is relevant here. May I share it with you?
Yeah.
And that sort of primes the listener to hear and be ready to receive what the orchestrator has to share with them. And it gives them an opportunity to say no, which I feel like most people are not going to say no. Don't tell me what you have to say.
I
But
mean,
it
unless
is,
they know the person and they're not ready
yeah,
for their truth bomb.
that's true. That's true. But that is a way that they can sort of start to get comfortable with the idea of like, I'm not here to guide everyone, and the people who want to hear from me are the ones I want to connect with, and I'm going to ask first to see if they're willing to be open to hear it. And if they aren't, then I know that that person is not for me, and my person is maybe somebody someplace else.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that answered your question, but I felt that was important to share
Yeah.
because it's something that it's a small thing that people can do to sort of back their way into living a little bit more true to their design and feel a little bit better about um what when they are sharing that they're being heard.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Um, what do you think? Um, what do you think the hardest thing for projectors to like when it comes to like following their strategy? I know it has to be like an internal pressure of like I have to share this. But like, is that the hardest part? Because
I
I know that you have a special place in your little heart there for, I mean, I think you do for each type, but you really like whenever you find out somebody's a projector, it's like an instant, oh.
I
And
love you
see, for
so much.
me, all I get is like the Michaela's not impressed. Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah,
like,
like
oh,
nothing's ever
you're a
good enough.
projector. Because that's the thing is like, we used to
Hmm.
say that about dad before we even knew about human design. It would be like somebody would be in the family would, achieve something or there's some big event happening or whatever, and we're all excited about it. And you look over at dad and he's just like,
Hmm.
unimpressed. Dude is
Yeah.
unimpressed with everything. And then my stepson, he's the same exact way. And it's
Hmm.
like when I found out he was a projector, I was like, "Oh my God, it's a projector thing." Like
Hmm.
they look unimpressed with everything.
Hmm.
And you can like as somebody who's excited about something, you can be like, "Ah, that person's such a Debbie Downer." Um but once you learn about human design you realize like oh no they just like they're like the template like they probably think it's okay but they also
Hmm.
probably are already seeing things that could be improved.
Hmm. That's right. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think. to answer your question of like what is the hardest thing about their strategy, I feel like what I see is making the shift from like pushing to
Yeah.
waiting. Like I see this especially in like the entrepreneurial space where you really are kind of on your own to like make something happen. Or I
Yeah.
mean, maybe it's not even just there. Like I'm thinking of some other people who are in the corporate space, maybe who are in leadership and they feel a desire to like, maybe they think of themselves as ambitious. They think of themselves as a go-getter. They have really adopted this mentality of like make it happen, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. It is very different to pull your energy back and wait until somebody asks you to
Yeah.
engage. And it doesn't, I heard somewhere along the way, probably from one of my orchestrator clients, like that they had heard that there was this idea of like, you can invite yourself. And I don't totally disagree with that. Like I can see how, your own dreams and your own vision can invite yourself like into something new. Um but when it comes to relationships, when it comes to like making something work in the world, when it comes to like, I mean, everything is relational. So whatever you're putting into the world or whatever it is you want to do, like there's going to be somebody somewhere who has to be in relationship with you. And I think the question is like, are you going out and trying to find those people, and how is that working for you? So like I would challenge orchestrators on two fronts. One, to reflect back when they're having trouble with this shift, to reflect back over the course of their life and see where have they been invited and how have those opportunities turned out for them. Because I think what people tend to see is that they recognize that they've been more successful, they've had a better experience when they've been invited in, when they've been like kind of handpicked and like, hey, join my team, or hey, i want
Yeah.
i want to partner with you in this, or hey, I want to be in a relationship with you. That they have a better experience than when they are pushing. And
Hmm.
that I think is a really key thing to help them understand or buy into a little bit, this idea of waiting to be invited,
Yeah.
to reflect backwards and see like how has it worked for you in the past. So it's a challenge. It's very different than our way of doing. um but what I see when people make the shift is that they feel more successful, that they
Yeah.
see that those opportunities work out better for them when they've waited and they've been invited in.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. All right.
Projectors. Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks again for joining us on this episode of Human Design Diaries. We hope that you love this episode as much as we did. Please take whatever resonates with you and leave the rest. If you're ready to dive deeper, visit our website at soulalignedsisters.com, where you'll find a wealth of free resources to support your journey. In our store, you can request a free human design chart, purchase low-cost reports, or even book a personalized reading with Jill. Be sure to explore our blog's Human Design library, filled with stories and insights to help you get aligned. And don't miss our free Introduction to Human Design workshop, available through the Soul Aligned Sisters online school. Whether you're just starting out or deepening your knowledge, there's something there for everyone. Stay tuned for more episodes as we continue to uncover the magic of human design. Until next time, stay aligned and keep living your most magical life.